I love you, Poppy. Young Millie.
Conservative point of view to black issues. His mission, to provide a forum for honest discussions about social issues without the liberal lapdogs shutting down the discussion. Broadcasting from the American Truth Project Studios in beautiful Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. This is Conservative Nation with your host, JERMAIN BOTSIO.
Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Welcome back to another edition of Conservative Nation with me, your gracious host, JERMAIN BOTSIO. And on today's show, you guys know what the deal is. I got the one, the only, Mr. Anthony Allen, liberal demon slayer. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, yeah. Fantastic as usual. And once again, the sword is out. We're going to be slashing these demons. The big hammer is out. We're going to hammer them down, you know. We're going to take care of them. So everybody just relax, hold on to your seats, because we're going to take a ride and we're going to be handling these crazy liberals.
Absolutely. And one thing I do know right now, a lot of people are starting to see how crazy the liberals are. You go to folks out there, all they're talking about is how sensitive these young children are, how crazy the world is, right? Sparking up a conversation, you know, folks walk out and start speaking about how crazy Biden is. You know, look at inflation. You know, Biden got roasted, and every joke that they told was the truth. They didn't even have to lie. You know, everything's up with Biden. Absolutely. So we are living in the days that are worse than Jimmy Carter. You know, Jimmy Carter was pretty bad, Anthony Allen, right? I mean, he's like almost 10 times worse than Jimmy Carter.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. That roast, I was listening to Trevor Noah.
Yeah, you heard him, right?
Everything he said was so true. Yeah. And that made it double funny, you know, because they were laughing at the truth. Mm-hmm. You know, everything Biden touches goes up. Inflation goes up. The price of food goes up. The people come over the border, that goes up. Everything. And then the joke about him helping minorities, including the Taliban. That was hilarious.
Oh yeah, that was absolutely hilarious. Let me go ahead. Okay, shout out to the producer. Let me go ahead and apparently we gotta restart the stream on Facebook here.
Okay.
No biggie. All right. I think we shall be good. Let's see here. All right. It says we are back online. Let me go ahead and refresh the screen. Hold on here. All right. We are good. Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're now entering our Facebook stream, please be gracious enough to share the stream, all right? Absolutely. You will want to share to your favorite cousin or the employee you hate, whichever one. Just go ahead and share, all right? Help us out. Absolutely. All right, we are ready. Anthony Allen, I'm ready to run my mouth.
Yeah, let's go do this thing, buddy. Let's go do it.
All right. I'm ready to fly. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you do share. First one up here, Anthony Allen. This one going to be a doozy, brother. We going to speak about family in the first segment here. Make sure you guys share. All right. Yes, we are on YouTube and Rumble as well. All right. I want to speak about a mother arrested for beating a 1-year-old and posting it on Instagram. All right. She's posted the video online trying to get back at a baby daddy. I want to go ahead and run this story. When it come back, I want to speak about this. We have a very good friend by the name of Larnell Palmer, Mr. Palmer. Speaks about BMTs all the time. Baby mama terrorists. Oh yeah. And let me tell you something. This is right up his alley. Make sure you guys share. Here we go.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts right now.
And welcome to The Factor Uncensored. Tonight we're starting with the deadbeat ass mom we just showed you. Horrible person. We just really should not show her, but we have to because she has been arrested. Good thing. 23-year-old Taya Pausley of Florida is charged with abuse for slapping her 1-year-old child multiple times on video. She was arrested after that video was posted on social media. We're going to show it to you twice since it's so fast, but be warned, it's extremely difficult to watch.
Post right? Your daddy wanna post right? He wanna fucking post and I answer the goddamn phone. I hate you. Post right? Your daddy wanna post right? He wanna fucking post and I answer the goddamn phone. I hate you.
What she is doing is slapping that baby in the face with her hand. Tonight, our panel tries to get to the bottom of this evil-ass mom.
You know, when I saw it originally, I wanted to say, is this real? Like, did this really happen? But after watching the video and doing a little bit more research on my own, the only thing that stands out to me is the level of stress that she's experiencing as a parent. She said one key thing was he don't want to answer the phone, but he's posting. That shows to me that there's a lack of social systems of support for her. Now that doesn't justify child abuse in any way.
Yeah, I was waiting
Bow. And let me go ahead and stop it right here. Left alone, Anthony Allen, to women, they will allow all this nonsense to go on. This black woman, and she a feminist too. Instead of her to tell what the real truth is, she is sitting here, ladies and gentlemen, and saying, and I want you guys to understand what she's saying. She's saying because she is frustrated of the lack of help is the reason why she's whooping on the baby. What a lie! That ain't it. The baby is used as a pawn, a tool to control the man. She had the baby in spite of the man. The man ain't answering, right? So she got to take it on the baby. Hey, I brought you in this world so I can control him, and he's not answering. He's not jumping when I want him to jump. He doesn't even care about me. Still, I had his baby. He still doesn't care. That's what's going on. But she's giving a gosh darn lie. She's not being honest. Anthony Allen, what do you think about this here? It is so gosh darn evil. Woman posts a video online of her beating on this baby.
Yes.
And she says that the daddy's not picking up. They go to a woman for the first reaction and comment. And her first reaction and comment, she is saying, hey, it sounds like the mama ain't getting help. Maybe she needs some resources. Am I living in some sort of fantasy world? Help me out, brother. What you think?
Hey, I think that this is fantasy world. This is, some kind of crazy world that we're living in now, because we hear from the professionals excuse making. The professional women on the panel, they want to nurture the assailant. Yeah, she is not a mother. She is a assailant. And I want to say that the conversation, it has to be about this assailant assaulting this 1-year-old baby. Now, of course, this assailant, I'm not going to call her a mother. Of course, this assailant is playing tit for tat. I am going to get you back. Like you said, since the baby father did not pick up, what does she do? She's using the baby as a whipping boy. Since she cannot get at the father, she smacks the baby around.
Mm-hmm.
This is assault. This is not a mother. And the excuse making from the professional Black women, it really does need to stop. Now, let me point out one other thing too, that the guy on there talked about this proverb, okay? And when you say proverb in the American culture, you're talking about the proverb from the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not a proverb from the Bible, you qualify with an African proverb or a Chinese proverb. So he quotes his proverb as if it's from the Bible when he says it takes a village to raise the children, to raise a child. Now, this is an African proverb popularized by Hillary Clinton. As conservatives, we don't believe that it takes a village to raise
No,
children.
it doesn't.
We believe that it takes a family, it takes a mother, it takes a father to raise a family with love. To raise a child with love. And the other thing too, when we say that it takes a village to raise a child, we're talking about a village that has idiots in it, okay? Yep. We don't want idiots raising our children. And that's what the Biden administration is giving us, idiots. We got transgender, we have these, crazy, queer people jumping around the school systems. We have these woken nuts at Disney wanting to groom children. That's what it looks like when you have a village raising the children, because the village is full of idiots, and we do not want the village idiots raising our children. So as conservatives, we need to be very, very careful about proverbs, particularly when they pretend as if they're from the Bible. This was not a biblical proverb. So no, this woman is not a mother. She is an assailant, and I hope she gets the book thrown at her. She should go to jail. She should have her children taken from her. Taken from her. Not this idea, well, temporarily. No, permanently.
Yep.
They should be taken from her.
Yeah, Anthony Allen, you're absolutely correct. And the thing is, this happens more than it needs to happen. I can tell you that. She's not one off. This type of behavior of just having a child for the sake of having a child, or having a child in spite of a man, and these things happen all the time. Women know what I'm talking about. You're going out with a guy that you shouldn't be going out with, right? A guy that, quote unquote, doesn't listen to you, right? Because a lot of women are into control. I know this. He doesn't want to listen to you. He's about to leave you. Women know what I'm talking about, right? The trap, baby. Let's not play like it don't happen. He's about to leave, right? It's the whoops, baby. Right? I forgot to take my pill this month, baby.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you figure out that the baby still doesn't keep the man, right? Now you're stuck with a baby that you have no love for, because the love is attached to the man. Now you just got a baby. So there's no love for the baby. The baby is growing up in hell. And this is the main reason why you can do this. It's just like women who have babies for money, for resources, right? I don't have any place to stay. Hey, any Tom, Dick, and Harry out there, my legs are open. Yeah, you think I'm playing. I speak this frank because it happens like this. It really does. So these things need to be spoken about. They really do. And the reason why a lot of this happens is because the father, a lot of the times, is not in the life because of crazy baby mama and the partner called the government. Absolutely. When a government is telling you when to go see your kid, when you can't, how much you pay, and they don't give a gosh darn. Let me tell you something. Not many folks want to be in that predicament. Not at all. Last words here, sir.
You know, that's a very, very good point, Jermaine BOTSIO. They had this secret partner called the government. And, you know, of course, the woman sides with the government. And, you know, when she can't get the man, she doesn't know how to do that because the government hasn't told her how to keep her man. In fact, the government runs the man off, of course, with her help. But, you know, this whole idea that these professional women and professional men, and they happen to be Black, are always making excuses for this kind of behavior. You know, we are a moral people. And when you say that you want the village to raise a child, you're asking for the village idiots to help you out. We need to look at our morals and say, we want good men, good women, good families to raise children, not the village. This is where we are now with this village raising children, and we see the result of it when the village raises the children. So I know it sounds good, you know, from Hillary Clinton, it takes a village. No, it's horrible because we see what happens when the village raises the children.
Absolutely. That is liberal speak when you hear village raising the children. It's the same thing when I hear a single mom say, well, I don't need any man to raise my child. I turned out my mama raised me just fine. Look at me, right? Look at me. My mama raised me just fine. You don't need a man to be there. And then the children grow up with that same stupid attitude. And let me tell you, it don't serve you well at all. We need to be very honest about it. Very honest. You know, I heard a young boy was raised by wolves. Should we allow that?
Right.
I swear to goodness. You heard that story, right, Anthony Allen?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't make this stuff up. I don't. So when we start speaking like that, you start speaking in like fantasy world. Let's speak about things that work, things that are beneficial. Let's go ahead and move forward. Before we do, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Danny Maynard. Danny Maynard donated. Shout out to Danny Maynard. He donated through PayPal, took our challenge. Shout out to Danny Maynard. I believe he's a mod for Jamal's show now. Shout out to
There we go.
Dan Maynard. Absolutely. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. I believe he might be on Facebook. Hit that like button. Make sure you do share. All right. Next one up here, brother. I want to go ahead and speak about another case here that popped up that everybody and their mama is speaking about. And it's about a man that stabbed his baby's mother to death after she admitted to throwing their child. Throwing their child in the trash. I want you guys to take a look at this when I come back. I want you guys to get ready for this conversation because it's going to be heavy. This just came out. These two cases, literally, I want folks to understand. Ask Anthony Allen. They happened this week within the few days. That's how crazy it is. Make sure you share.
Got a blanket.
Nearly 1 year after 2-month-old baby Kion Jones went missing and his mother admitted to disposing of his body in the trash
And his car seat.
that mother, 39-year-old LaDanya Boggs, was found stabbed to death in the same Benning Road home in Northeast where she confessed to WSA 9 1 year ago.
And took it outside. And disposed of it in the trash. And that's what happened.
Early this morning, police say someone called 911 and hung up. Officers found Boggs dead and hours later charged 44-year-old Carl Jones, Kion Jones's father, with Boggs' death. Carl Jones never faced charges in Kion's disappearance, only Boggs, who told investigators she was high on PCP at the time she last saw her son. Court records indicate her story changed multiple times until she admitted to throwing the infant away after he was found unresponsive in her bed. Boggs was charged with tampering with evidence. Her trial was set to start in October.
I think she should have been locked up, and if she had been locked up, she'd have sobered up. And maybe, just maybe, her mind would have came back to her.
Many members of the Benning Road community are still reeling from the tragedy that has shattered this family.
This is awful. It really is. So I guess now with her gone, they ain't gonna never find the baby.
In Northeast, Colby Satterfield, WUSA 9.
Anthony Allen, my goodness gracious, this one's absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. The woman said that she was, quote unquote, high on PCP. She said she didn't know where the baby was. I mean, story after story after story after story. And come to find out, the real truth, in my personal opinion, is that she probably got what they call baby blues, the postpartum baby blues. And, she couldn't handle it and she killed the baby. There's so many stories like this here. And on top of that, the father was so upset about this. And probably because of all the constant lies, it just blows my mind. He killed her. He stabbed her to death, and the crazy thing is there's people who want the father out. They're saying it's a just murder. What do you think about this?
Yeah, this is a tragedy on so many levels. I want to talk about one of the levels that's very, very important for us to understand about the situation. Listen to how this mother refers to her baby. She says, I took it outside.
There you go.
I disposed of it in the trash. Persons are not its. Things or non-humans are its. So why didn't she learn how to say, I took the baby, I took him, I took Kion outside. I disposed of the baby, him, or Kion in the trash. She is dehumanizing this little baby. For this woman, her child, her son, is a non-human. She refers to it, she refers to her baby as it, as a thing. So she is not a mother either, like the first one video that we saw. This woman also is not a mother. She is a monstrous assailant. And I can almost guarantee that this child suffered much more abuse too that will never be known, because anyone that refers to a baby as a it is a monster. And that's what she is. And this father, I mean, what else? I mean, I don't condone this, but I'm telling you, he also knew that this person, this assailant, saw his child as a thing to be discarded, to be thrown away. So people need to be very, very careful about things like this. Listen to what people are saying.
Absolutely.
Referring to a baby as it and throwing it in the trash.
Absolutely. And Anthony Allen, let's be honest here. In our liberal society right now, when it comes to prosecuting women and this type of behavior, they get off scot-free. Look at Brooke Schuyler. I'm going to keep bringing up that case. She had a baby, and you know what she did? She buried that baby in the backyard.
In the backyard.
They had evidence of the mama and the family texting about how, the baby was gone and everything else. Still, she got away scot-free.
Yes.
Right? Look at Casey Anthony. Casey Anthony was blaming the dad, making up fake stories about abuse, everything to get off scot-free. And guess what happened? She got away scot-free. Right?
Yes.
There's story after story after story after story. So when you know that, she could claim postpartum or some other stuff, it's almost as if you get no justice. So I can understand the hurt behind it, but you can't act in this way. But when you have a justice system that doesn't serve the people, you're going to get folks who are going to behave in this manner. Last words here, sir.
Yeah, this father probably knew that this murderous assailant would not meet justice. I hate to say that because you're right. Time and time again, these murderous women get off scot-free. Like the last video, you have professionals making all kinds of excuses for this behavior, and it's not right. And we as people need to stop making excuses based on somebody's skin color and based on someone's gender. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And all this, gender-based and color-based, policies, when it comes to the law, it should come to a screeching halt, because, when it doesn't stop, we get situations like this. Some women getting away with murder.
Absolutely.
And Black women are getting away with murder, and it should stop. They don't accept criticism because everybody has to be hands off. Why? Because she's Black and because she's a woman. Everybody just runs away and falls down. No, they need to go to jail and to face justice. And this man probably said, you know what? He's going to take care of it.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, when you have a society right now that acts and behaves in this manner, and we don't have the right justice system, you're going to get people to do this. It's quite unfortunate. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you do share. Next one up here, brother. I want to play you this video here. Video's taken off. It's about a 72-year-old Black man who's a bus driver. And let me tell you something. The video of him is taken off. There's memes out right now. It's wild, and I want folks to see this. We are living in a day and age right now, Anthony Allen, where the young children growing up don't respect the elders. You know, back in the day, growing up, me and my cohorts would be scared to run our mouth to the older men. We would. Because there's something called old man strength. You know, I didn't know about it until my father showed me, until my uncle showed me. It's really there. It's almost like waking up a tiger or a bear, you know, from a slumber. You know what I'm talking about, Anthony Allen? The power just come out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And once you saw that type of power, you know, it puts you in check. And nowadays, since the family dynamic has shifted, these young children have not experienced that old man strength. They haven't experienced what I call a proper disciplinary ass whooping. They have not. You know, on this show, we recommend ass whoopings as early as 2 years old. Absolutely. Yeah. You better start early, let me tell you. You better. Let me go ahead and run this clip here. When it come back, I want to speak about this here. There's a subsequent clip of a news story that goes along with this that I want people to hear as well. Make sure you guys do share. I want to get your thoughts on this. Here we go.
God damn, skill. Oh!
Let me go play it again. Let me play one more time.
God damn, skill. Oh!
Bow. And let me go ahead and stop it right here. Let me go ahead and give a shout out to the beautiful Dixie George. Shout out to the beautiful Dixie George. Absolutely, sweetheart. I got your last donation. It was at the tail end. Shout out to you. Absolutely. Anthony Allen, buddy. My goodness gracious.
Yeah.
You can hear the bus driver absolutely upset and mad. He says, "Don't be messing with me." Now, Anthony, I want to go ahead and show the folks something here real quick. I want to show the folks something. I want them to take a look at this picture here. This is the 72-year-old bus driver. All right. He was arrested according to officials in St. Helena Parish, Louisiana. All right. His name is Jerome McNabb. I want to go ahead and run this news story. When it comes back, I want to finish this conversation. Do you blame the children? Do you blame the society? Or do you blame the bus driver that looks like he may have had it? Here we go. Hold on for a quick sec. Sorry about that. I think I might have muted the tab here. And yes, I did. Absolutely, I did. Here we go. Sorry about that.
Shows a St. Helena bus driver violently beating a student on his bus.
We really need to warn you that what you're about to see is very unsettling. Late tonight, we've learned the bus driver has been arrested. Unsettling indeed. The St. Helena Sheriff's Office identifies the bus driver as Jerome McNabb. They arrested the 72-year-old. The school system says they're aware of the incident and also turned over the video of the beating to investigators. The school system says McNabb was a driver for a bus company contracted by the school system. The child's family, as you can imagine, were highly upset tonight. We'll continue to follow this one.
Now for some other developments.
Bow. So Anthony Allen, my goodness gracious. This man right here, and shout out to the beautiful Katie Walker, says we need more men like him to do the jobs parents don't or won't do. She says she's only half kidding. Sweetheart, let me tell you, I'm fully with ya. Kidding or not, I'm fully with ya. Ass whoopings should be something that is standard here in America. The children are out of control. They talk to you all sorts of ways. They go ahead and throw stuff at you. You mean to tell me this man has to sit there and deal with abuse? Because the kid doesn't learn at home? Somebody needs to teach that kid a good ass whooping. And let me tell you something, that 72-year-old man probably saved this kid down the road from going to jail or getting his ass whooped by somebody a lot bigger and stronger. Anthony Allen, what do you think about this? Is this old man just a terrible old man, or is he an old man that sound like he just got pushed to the limit?
Yeah, this old man, he got pushed to the limit. We don't condone what happened there, but I can guarantee you that this guy probably put up with a lot of stuff. He probably was very, very patient. He probably reported these children to the administrators, and they did nothing about it. And this guy finally had enough of it. He was probably the ringleader of all the abuse that was heaped upon him. And this guy finally decided to go back there and take care of the ringleader. It's called self-defense. And we're going to find out exactly what was going on that school bus. And I can say that, you know, it was justified. I'm going to say that. I'm going to go out there on a limb, because you don't find, you know, men doing this unless there's a great justification. Now, that isn't child abuse. I agree with you and Katie Walker. There's a Bible verse that says, what? Spare the rod, spoil the child. And that butt whipping that this child got, probably saved his life. Somewhere down the road, there will be some people who will not be as lenient as this bus driver was, because there'll be some vicious attacks upon him if he doesn't change course. And we've seen the vicious attacks that can just, you know, kill someone, cut someone up, put him in a wheelchair. And this boy, all he got was beat down, embarrassed, and he got kicked. And once he got that, he didn't move anymore. So I'm going to say that, you know, this man was putting up with a lot of abuse from the school children on that bus, and the ringleader got it. And all the children say, amen. We're not going to do that
Absolutely.
anymore.
And we've shown you guys videos of teenagers in school whooping on other teachers. Remember that black girl that beat up that, I think she was like 69-year-old white woman. I wish that white woman would have whooped on that black behemoth, but she allowed herself to get beat up and put in the hospital. I want folks to understand this. We need to make sure that the children understand reality and consequences. Yeah, you are free to say whatever you want, but you're not free of the consequences. And that needs to be taught. It has to be taught. You can say whatever you want, But guess what? You're not free from the social ramifications of what you say. And if you are a young child and you have not learned at home, right? Your parents have this what they call, I think they call it gentle parenting right now, where you're not supposed to speak really loud to the child. You speak real gentle. Hey, Timmy, that's not nice. You're supposed to speak like that, real crazy like that, right? I call it crazy because nobody in their right mind will listen to a person like this, but apparently this is what's being taught. And the children don't recognize reality like that. They recognize reality old school. All human beings do. Physical consequence. Do you understand? Even in the Army. How does the Army break you from your old civilian habits? Back in the day, Anthony Allen, they used to beat you. I don't know if people knew that or not. But back in the day, your drill sergeant could punch you in the face, punch you in the stomach. I want folks to understand. This is before the women came in and started complaining. But that's how they used to do that, because there is what they call discipline through physical discipline. And now the Army has switched it from beating on your ass to doing exercises, physical training, right? Because they know that it does the same psychological process in your mind, right? It tires you out, right? And to a lot of people, physical exertion is like getting your ass whooped. Absolutely. Your stuff start hurting and everything. Ask the folks who've been in the Army. So these things condition you to live a certain way. So when you do certain things, right, your mind kicks in. Pow. Oh, yeah, I used to get hit for doing that, right? And now when you get out of the environment you were trained in, you are set for life. Ask the folks in the Army, right? When you get out to the civilian world, you're still creasing your the end of your bed, right? You're folding your clothes how you used to fold it, right? You're doing things that you start understand that are beneficial for you that you didn't understand when you were getting your ass whooped. And I want folks to understand, I've got my ass whooped by my daddy, and for good reason. And let me tell you, when I was getting my ass whooped, sometimes I was so dumb I didn't even know, right? All I was just worried about was the pain. But after me sitting back, realizing, because that's what an ass whooping does, and make you sit there, and you know what I'm talking about, Anthony Allen, and make you reflect on your life, right? While you're catching up on your breath, right? You get hit. I don't know if anybody out there has been whooped so badly, you cry so badly, you start stuttering and you're crying, right? You get that long pause. Right? It's one of them. And you start saying, you know what, I gotta change. Something in you start changing. And it's because of the physical discipline. Last words here, sir.
Yeah, that boy, what an idiot. And we're seeing what happens when the village raises children. Okay, they're out of control. They have no discipline, no respect. There's no way in the world that people from our generation, myself, you, and others, would get on a bus and, act out the way that I know these children were behaving. They were probably loud, abusive. And yeah, we've seen videos of these young people beating down teachers, cursing them out, hitting them with books, saying the rude and crude things to them. And that's because the village raised these children and they didn't have any, discipline in their life. They didn't have a father to discipline them, and a mother to discipline them. But basically, the discipline was from the father. A father is very, very physical. You know, like my dad, like my mom could look at me, but my dad could look at me and grab me and say, "What did you say?" And then I knew, oh my goodness, I'm dead. I'm in trouble. But however, that physical discipline, it taught me the ways through life. Okay. How to keep my mouth shut, how to be polite. It became natural. Don't anger people, be polite, get along with people.
That's what I'm saying.
Your dad teaches you.
Anthony Allen, an ass whooping will keep you polite too. Shout out to Roxanne Ekman. She says the part that wasn't shown was that the child was throwing stuff at the bus driver.
Yes, there you
go.
So,
you know, and it could have hurt him. And imagine him driving like that. You know, he has to keep his eyes on the road. You know, he could have had an accident. He's in charge of a lot of souls on that bus. And for a child to throw stuff at him, to taunt him, to do names and stuff like that, and not understand the seriousness of the matter. I mean, it becomes a point where, you know, some action needs to be taken. Now, I'm not condoning the ass whooping in this, you know, in this sense. But gosh darn it, ladies and gentlemen, an ass whooping gonna come. Right? An ass whooping gonna come. He should be let free. He should. His punishment and embarrassment is him being caught like this and they put him on TV. That's it. Let him be free. Any person with common sense you speak to besides the dumb parents, right? Besides them, that would say, you know what, let him be free. Because they understand what's going on right now with the children and how children are being raised. That's why I said a lot of folks can't be teachers because they cannot deal with the disrespect. They would whoop on the children. Remember, I told you I would. I wouldn't allow it. You know, they would either allow me to do physical training on them or it would be an ass whooping. And I would prefer an ass whooping. You know, I even said, Anthony Allen, America should have a corporation out there called the, you know, the Parents of America that support ass whooping, you know, and it'll be a big ass bus. You know, the feds will go and create a program, will be federalized, right? We'll go and pick folks, you know, and they'll go through the training of how to properly produce an ass whooping. And, you know, we'll go ahead and hit the number up. The bus will pull up. Your child will be, you know, frog marched out there, a good old ass whooping. They come back to you, you know. Nobody can sue you. Nobody can complain, right? It'll be federal issued ass whooping. I think something like that need to happen. You know, ass whoopings are us. Maybe you take them to a building, you know. Reality happens when you get your ass whooped, let me tell you. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you do share. All right, we got a lot more to discuss tonight. And as you guys know, the technocrats hate us. They absolutely do. All right? They absolutely do. Yeah, that's elder abuse. Absolutely. These people are just crazy. Shout out to Elvin Price. They are. Next one up. I want to go ahead and show you guys a video that a lot of people are showing right now. And it has to deal with, quote unquote, non-compliance. We've been speaking about non-compliance for a while on the show. And I've been saying that, hey, if you are a cop out there, you're going to have to deal with folks who are non-compliant. I mean, that's part of the job. In this day and age with George Floyd and all these other black police shootings, right? You would think that black Americans would change their behavior since they claim that it's so easy to get shot by police, right? The police are evil. They are hunting black people. This is what the American Negro is saying. But most of the time, what you find out is that they're not scared of police. A lot of the times, they're not doing the right thing. And a lot of the times, they create their own problems in their lives. I want you guys to take a look at this. A man getting pulled over in New York. He has 3 occupants. It looks like a stolen vehicle. I want you guys to see what happens next. Here we go. Make sure you share. Make sure you do share.
Show your head! Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Right, let's go. Let's work it out. No, we got one third brother.
Let me play that again. I want you guys to see how the Negro ran.
Show your head! Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Right, let's go. Let's work it out. No, we got one third brother.
Bow. Anthony Allen. Why would black Americans comply when they know that they could be another George Floyd and get a payday? Yeah. Why would they comply? I mean, you would think that with them being so scared, and you heard this before, right? The black folks are so scared. We scared. Every time we see a white person, we think they a cop, right? All this nonsense you hear. And when you get pulled over, you see the behavior. The guy literally pushed the cop and took off. The cop didn't chase him. I understand why he didn't chase that Negro. I totally understand. Gosh darn it, he slip and fall on a banana peel. He sue you, you lose your job. Anthony Allen, gosh darn it, what do you think about this? In the day and age after George Floyd, fentanyl Floyd, Saint Floyd. What do you think?
Yeah, these people, these black people, it's a false narrative. The mainstream media, the liberal media, they want people to think that, oh, black people are so afraid of police officers. Oh my goodness. No, they are not. These thugs are not afraid of police officers. But I do think that this was smart policing, and I'll tell you why. Because he let him go. Yep. Now, these cops, they already had the other 2, and they have the runner's car.
Yep.
So there's no point in chasing after this black guy, this Negro, this colored guy. Don't chase him. They will pick him up later.
Yep.
He will be caught, you see. So, and he'll have some additional charges added on to him. And obviously, this thug, he was accustomed to being cuffed. If you look at it carefully, you can see how he played the cop, got the cop off balance, and then pushed off the cop and ran. So this guy, he's a thug. He knows how to get out of being cuffed, and that's his expertise. But I think that it was very, very smart for those cops to let him go. They got on the radios and they called in the guy's location, and he will be picked up again very, very quickly. He's not going to get away. So there's no point in going to the ground with him.
Yep.
Just have someone pick him up.
Absolutely. And if you've seen the show, The First 48, it's very easy to get the Negroes to flip on each other, Anthony Allen.
Yeah.
You come in there with some Sprite, let's say some Popeyes chicken. I don't know if they have KFC anymore, but some Popeyes chicken, a Newport, let me tell you, or a Black and Mild. That's it. That is it. Maybe some Arizona tea. You know, the little 99-cent one. That's all they need. And they ready to tell on everybody. Everybody. So to me, it's very smart police work. You know, allow the Negro to run. Because the other two, please believe, and it's a female too. She gonna be the first one to flip. Absolutely. You think she want to stay in the stale and not be able to twist up her weave and put on some poor foundation? Are you serious?
Yeah.
She ready to snitch. So you know, this type of behavior, ladies and gentlemen, will always happen. Well, always, you know, if it was a woman, maybe the guy could have been killed. You know, she might have been upset and pulled some. I don't know, but the policing in this one was very well handled. You got everything. The guy, you're gonna pick him up later, and what it shows is that the behavior is still there.
Yes, it is.
That's what it shows. And in my personal opinion, all the families who have ill-gotten gained off this money is the main reason why you're going to keep finding these type of George Floyd type of situation, because this could have been easily a George Floyd situation, Anthony Allen. Very easily. And black folks, if they get shot, quick to sue, right? There'll be a Ben Crump. He didn't have to shoot him. It blows my mind. You want to say something before we move on, sir?
Yeah, thank you. You know, this whole idea that one of the ways that these thugs get rich is to, get shot, is to create some kind of commotion with the police department. Because the police department, they'll roll over and they'll say, give the guy $1 million, give him $20 million, just make him shut up. If not their money, it's easier just to roll over, give the guy $1 million. And so that's the new get rich quick scheme when it comes to thugs. Run, cause a commotion, fall down, break your toe, and then scream racism. And then there's a big paycheck at the end of this. But this time, the cops did not fall for it. They said, you know what, we'll pick him up later. And when you pick him up later, he may be somewhere where you got more leads. He's going to go to some friend, and maybe the friend has a warrant out on them too, because there's no honor among thieves.
None.
Like you said, they all will tell on each other eventually. There's no honor among these thieves.
None at all. None. That's why I said that female that they picked up, the female's gonna snitch first before anybody. All the cops know it. Go ask a cop who's the first one to snitch when they pick a gender up, they'll tell you female, number one. As soon as the cop seen the female, we got her, buddy. Don't you worry. We probably know where your mama lived by the end of the night. Don't you worry.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what it comes down to. Ladies and gentlemen, hit that like button. Make sure you share. Since we are on George Floyd, and we've been speaking on George Floyd, a big inquiry just got done, a federal inquiry into George Floyd in the Minneapolis police shooting there. They went and did a inquiry, a research study on the police patterns of the Minneapolis Police Department. And what they found was what they call patterns of racism. The study is out now. Minneapolis police are taking a lot of heat for this. I want to go ahead and run this when I come back. I want to speak about this because racism and police. One thing we have been speaking about on this program, Anthony Allen, has been criminal culture in the black community and how black Americans have made a living off the criminal culture and have also suffered from it. It's something that is a double-edged sword. I want to go ahead and run this when I come back. I want to speak about it. Make sure you guys share. Here we go.
An investigation by the U.S. state of Minnesota following the police killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis in 2020 has found that the city's police have engaged in a pattern of race discrimination for at least the past decade. Peter Bowes reports.
The murder of George Floyd by a white police officer sparked protests around the world. It prompted an investigation into the Minneapolis Police Department, the use of force and other tactics by officers going back a decade. The analysis of police reports, interviews and nearly 700 hours of body camera footage showed what investigators say were wide disparities between the treatment of people of colour and white individuals. It revealed that while African Americans make up only 19% of the city's population, they represented 54% of all traffic stops over a 3-year period. And between 2010 and 2020, 2/3 of all citations for disorderly conduct and obstruction went to people who were black.
The Minnesota Department of Human Rights finds that the city and Minneapolis Police Department engaged in a pattern or practice of race discrimination in violation of the Minnesota Human Rights Act.
The report blames a paramilitary approach to policing and a culture that's ineffective at holding officers accountable for misconduct.
I found the contents to be repugnant, at times horrific. They made me sick to my stomach and outraged, and I think that our community feels the same way.
The findings, the mayor said, did not come as a surprise to the city's black community. They'd known about police misconduct for decades, for generations. The report calls for significant reforms, starting with officers' training and disciplinary systems. Others say only a complete shift in police culture will begin to address the problem. Peter Bowes, BBC News.
Bow. Anthony Allen, let me tell you something. Police culture patterns of racism. Now, let's be quite frank here. Are there issues in policing? Yes, there are, right? I've told you that I don't like qualified immunity. I want that gone. That may piss off a lot of law enforcement officers. You can kick rocks in the back of my gosh darn booty. I don't care. Nobody should be above the law. And I tell folks, if you doubt me, go ahead and try to make a genuine complaint about an officer and see how far it gets. They don't play that. So I'm very honest when it comes down to it. Minneapolis police have been caught doing the wrong thing on occasion. Does that mean that they're all bad? Absolutely not. One thing I'm going to tell you is that when you are in an urban environment and you don't have the correct politicians who understand the culture to help move the police in the right way, you're going to get this. You have Minneapolis, a city that's filled with baby mamas and children. Section 8 city. Don't believe me? Ask the folks who live here. Everywhere you look, it's a Section 8 crook. Let me tell you, everywhere you look. Don't believe me? Go and ask folks. And when you have a city that's filled like that, you have Women, and you have the children who don't have the daddies there. The daddies are outside gang banging. So you don't create a very good culture here. And when the police are coming in and having to deal with that back and forth, and it gets worse by generation and generation because we keep funding and exacerbating this social economic problem. The police have no other option. Let me tell you, no other option to beef up their security, beef up their approach. When you have Negroes outside carrying what they call big sticks, AR-15s, they have the Dracos, they have the big drum, the Tommy round drums, they have what they call switches, where I have a 50 round clip on there. I don't play around. We seen a video the other day of Negroes showing off their guns, didn't we? Little guys. Yep. So when I bring these things up, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about real culture that is not understood by the white liberal Democrats who come from hell. What do you think about this here, sir?
Yeah, that was great. Well said, man. People just don't understand what's taking place out there. There also what's taking place out there is the opening statement says the murder of George Floyd by white police officers. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's part of this war on white people.
There you go.
In other words, you always demonize the police as being white, scary. It's a pejorative now, white police officer. And you never talk about the behavior of George Floyd, high on drugs, passing counterfeit money, has a long rap sheet.
There you go.
Put a gun to a pregnant woman's stomach, so you have that out there too. They're always trying to demonize white people. It is awful the way that they have this war out there against white people. Also, the statistics, they had this stat that says, blacks are 19% of the population and they make up 54% of the traffic violations. That statistic is not an indicator of racism.
Yep.
It's just a fact. That's just how things are. This whole idea that stats make racism, that's what the liberals, they love to do that. They say, oh, this company is a racist company.
Yeah, any discrepancy
because
they
there's
find.
No black people there. There's no black vice president. The president of the company is white, therefore the company is racism. This has got to stop. And, black people, particularly the liberals, have got to stop making this, something that's racist because the statistics show a, lack of black people in certain areas. That's just like you go to a Trump rally and they say the rally is racist because there's not that many black people there. I mean, this is what I'm talking about when they have this war on white people and they lie through statistics to make it seem that way. But what these liberals want, I call it, they want racial quota policing. Okay. And what that means to me is that they want to make sure that they have a proportionate number of whites arrested.
There you go.
If you have a certain number of blacks arrested, you have to have a proportional number of whites. And when you have too many black people arrested, guess what? You have to stop arresting black people no matter what they've done. And you have to figure out how to go arrest more white people, more Asian people, more Turkish people. Everything has to be in proportion. And that is racism in itself. So maybe if black people stop misbehaving, the statistics would not be skewed that way. This whole idea, and we saw it in the video where the guy got out and he just ran. Okay. He didn't stay there to find out what was going on. He just ran. And so this idea that you use statistics to prove something is racist racism is not statistically, it's something that has to do with someone's morals.
There you go.
You know, somebody's moral, not some kind of a, you know, number. Anyone can make statistics to fit just about anything that they want it to fit.
Yeah, absolutely correct. And liberals love to do that. They go and look for any discrepancy when it comes to, racism, race, ethnicity. They look for discrepancies, and if it hurts their heart, then guess what? It's a bad deal. And haven't you found out that if the statistics are on their side, they don't make a complaint about it?
Yeah.
You know, they're all good. So they have a problem. And you have to be honest with these type of folks. You just have to. They don't want to hear the truth of the reason why things are that way. They just don't. You know, it hurts them to hear, well, most of these crimes are done by blacks because they're actually doing it. They don't want to hear that. They don't. Right. Somebody told them that black folks are magic. Well, if blacks are magic, what about whites? What about everybody else? I mean, it comes down to a point where you got a Luciferian mindset. You're pumping up an ego, you know, and it's not right at all. It's not. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys do me a favor. Hit that like button. Make sure you do share. Shout out to Kristen Walker. Took our challenge. Very, very beautiful woman. Shout out to you.
Yeah, someone also did a shout out to her too. Lovely
Absolutely.
lady, beautiful woman. Thank you so much, Kristen D. Walker.
Make sure you guys share. Next one up. I want to go ahead here and let me pull this up. I want to speak about CNN. CNN right now is reporting on black voters. They're saying they're moving more to a conservative side. They are worried about the midterm elections. A lot of them are blaming Biden. Here we go. Make sure you guys share.
So the question then is, what's happening here? Why are we seeing this?
Yeah, so if you look at the historical trend, I'm going to jump back to president, and you look here, what do we see? We see that in the last election, we saw that Joe Biden won black voters by 75 points. This is a drop, 81 points, 87 points, 91 points. We look a lot more like we did back at the 2004 election. Now let's just compare 2020 and 2016, and we're going to take a look at ideological groups. About 20% of black voters consider themselves conservative. Look here. Conservatives in the 2020 election, Joe Biden won black conservatives by 20 points. That's not bad, right? But look at the 2016 election. He won them by 58 points. That's a 38-point drop. If you look at all other groups, so moderates and liberals, the margin stayed the same. So what we're seeing is the polarization that has hit the rest of the electorate, with conservatives going towards Republicans and liberals going towards Democrats, is now applying themselves to black voters. So I think the real question going forward, Brianna, is what happens with conservatives? Do they continue to go towards? If they do so, black voters may not be as democratic as they once were.
Bow. Bow, bow, bow. Now, Anthony Allen, I want to play a subsequent video here that is very important. And it deals with Mr. Van Jones. It seemed like he got some sort of, how can I say? Well, I want to play another CNN clip here. I forgot to send you this, but you'll hear it. And it's about the growing number of black Republicans they're saying that are driving blacks away from Biden. Very important clip here. I want you guys to take a look as well. Here we go.
It's not just inflation that's challenging President Biden before the midterms. There's another potential headwind. New polling suggests that black voters may be souring on Democrats. CNN's senior data reporter, Harry Enton, is here. Harry, great to see you.
Nice to see you.
So you have found that Biden's approval with black Americans is down. How far are we talking here?
I mean, it's really down. I mean, you can see it here. At the beginning of his term, he was at 87%. Look at where he is over the last few months. 67%. That's a 20-point drop. And not only is it a 20-point drop, that 67%, Barack Obama, the last Democratic president, never dropped below 75% in any Gallup poll. So this is lower than Barack Obama ever was.
Do you know what's driving this? What's behind it?
Well, there are a number of things that are behind it, but, you know, one of the things that I think is so important as we look towards the midterm elections, right? If you look at younger voters, you don't really see that there was much of a change with them in terms of their generic ballot or how they would vote for Congress, even though they had soured on Biden. But look here, the choice for the House of Representatives among black voters. In the 2020 election, Democrats won them by 77 points. Look at the recent average of polling. They're only winning them, get this, by 62 points. Now, I want to put this in a historical comparison for you, and this really gets at how low that 62-point margin is. Choice for House of Representatives, Democrats have won black voters by 75 points or more in every single election this century. So if you go back here and you see them right now with just a 62-point margin, that is much worse for wear than any performance for Democrats in the House of Representatives this century.
That's really interesting. So in other words, this has been a sudden decline, meaning like in the past year plus.
Well, you know, I think one way to sort of look at this, right, is the choice for president, and we go back since 2004, 2008, 2012, 2016, 2020. Right now, if you go back to 2020, Joe Biden won black voters by 75 points. That was down from 2016, 2012, 2008. You really have to go all the way back to 2004. Now, you were asking before why. What is driving this erosion? And this, I think, will give you the clue. It's black conservative voters. Black conservatives. Look at that. 2016, Dems won them by 58 points. Hillary Clinton. Look at that. Just a 20-point margin for Joe Biden. All others, moderates and liberals, that 87-point margin held. It's black conservatives that are driving this.
Really helpful, Harry. Great to see you.
Nice to see you.
Thanks so much.
Wow. So he is saying it is black conservatives driving this, Anthony Allen.
Yeah.
You know, what is your take on this here?
I'm going to tell you like this, my friend. Conservatives, we have worked very, very hard to move conservatives away from the Democrat Party. But, you know, let me be clear on this. The left, they love to divide people by color. And they have this term called the black conservative or the black Republican. And the truth of the matter is conservatism or republicanism doesn't have anything to do with color, nothing at all, because those values have to do with morals. And I'm here to tell you that I'm not a quote unquote black conservative, unless you need to use that term just to make a difference. I'm a conservative, and I am friends with and friendly with, and I am a brother to other conservatives. I don't care what color they are or what gender. If they are conservative, I'm not saying, hey, I'm only going to rub elbows with the black conservatives. No, they are conservative. And this is where CNN have gotten it all wrong. We as conservatives, we are driving this. We are driving as conservatives because we love our country. We aren't driving this as some kind of tribal idea that we want to pull black people along. We want to pull our country along. We're losing our country. And that's what we have to realize. And I want to say also that social media, and you, JERMAIN BOTSIO, you are one of the facilitators of this idea of driving conservatives, because you had this idea that's very, very real. You're forcing conservatives to talk about these issues, whereas conservatives don't want to talk about these social issues. But you, JERMAIN BOTSIO, are forcing this, because the issues that we're talking about on your show, they are issues of the American people. We see that these issues are concerned for white, black, Hispanic, Asians, because what we're talking about are things that all Americans should be talking about. I don't want to be able to talk about these things only. I want my white friends to say, look at how they're behaving. I want them to be comfortable with that. I want my Asian friend to say, that's horrible. What the liberals want is only black people are supposed to talk about difficulties in the black community. No, we are Americans. We love this country. And that's what conservatism is. Anybody can talk about these issues because they are conservative. And so CNN, once again, they have it wrong. It's not black conservatives per se. It is just conservatives are driving this. Because
Absolutely.
as conservatives, JERMAIN BOTSIO, we have to realize that our so-called white brothers and sisters, they fought the Civil War. They also were very, very instrumental in the civil rights movement. And these white conservatives, so to speak, are very, very instrumental in the conservative movement. And we are not separated from our quote unquote white conservative brothers and sisters. We are one and the same.
Absolutely, we are. And Van Jones here, I want to play this last clip here. It's with Van Jones, and he says Republicans are doing an effective job messaging to black voters. I want you guys to take a look at this.
And then at the same time, you've got Republicans who've been really, especially online, trying to pull black voters over by doing something interesting, saying, look, we may not be your cup of tea on some of these issues, but hey, on the economy, where you're better off 3 or 4 years ago, you're better off now. The algorithms are starting to serve up to black voters some very depressing, distressing news. I don't think Democrats have responded online the way they need to.
But it is working.
It's beginning to work.
It's beginning to work.
Or siphoning, I guess, black voters.
Siphoning. So all they've been doing is worried about how the blacks are leaving. And the thing is here, Anthony Allen, Republicans have, in a sense, been constant with certain messages. And this non-changing message is starting to be appealing. I want folks to understand. When it comes down to it, Anthony Allen, the liberal left is cockamamie and out of control. They are making laws to protect LGBTQ. They're promoting the LGBTQ lifestyle. Let's be honest. Most blacks think that lifestyle is crazy. I want folks to understand the LGBTQ community is pissing off a lot of black folks, right? The LGBTQ community try to co-opt the black struggle. Hey, we get discriminated just like you black folks. And black folks like, nah. We get discriminated because of our skin. Nobody knows who you want to screw. We are not the same.
Right.
But because LGBTQ folks are with the Democrat Party, they try to co-op with most black folks. Most black folks don't like it. They don't. And that is beginning to push them away. This fake, posing stuff that these white liberals do. You know what? The fake white liberal, hey, what's up, dog? Right? They'll go and say, hey, how you doing, Richard? Good evening, Richard. Right? And then you'll look to your black friend and say, hey, how you doing, dog? How you doing? That type of behavior, that fake behavior, is starting to piss off a lot of black folks. It really is. They're starting to see how dumb white liberals are. They're starting to see it. That any cockamamie thing that is put out, they follow. Right? And then on top of that, they hear dumb white liberals saying, yeah, get rid of the police. And then these white folks don't even live in the area, which it blows my mind. So what you are starting to see is that black folks, who a lot of them, 80%, according to Jamal, I'll say it's a lot higher, are blind, deaf, and dumb, are starting to see that These white liberals are more blind, deaf, and dumb than they are. Anthony Allen, last words on this here, sir.
Yeah, you're hitting things perfectly because I like to say that the LGBT, they are the new Negroes, okay? And they don't need the old Negroes hardly anymore. They're going to get all the votes they can from the LGBT and the illegal aliens, and they're going to get it from, anyone else they can. So black folks, they have been, just ramping up for reparations. They want reparations. They have done all the hard work to get reparations. And what do the Democrats do? They give reparations to the LGBT community without even asking, okay? So, and if you are watching the Trump rallies, Trump doesn't talk about blacks. He just talks about morals, the wealth, the liberty, and the happiness. And this is resonating with black people. And also social media, because now the liberals, they can no longer just pick some black people and say, that's your leader. Now they have to deal with me. They have to deal with you, Jamal. They have to deal with all of us conservatives on social media. And that is swaying a lot of votes. And now our white friends are beginning to understand that we are not against them. We are one with them. They are one with us. We are citizens of this great country together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the liberals don't want to happen. There's this meme that shows a black hand and a white hand shaking hands. They don't want black and whites in this country to see their country as belonging to one another. They always separate us. And so blacks are now beginning to say and see that they can be free. They can express their morals, and the liberals no longer can go to one black and say, this one black is how all blacks think. They have to deal with all of us now, and all of us are together with our white conservative brothers.
Absolutely. And let's be honest, a lot of black men are driving the move too. The black women are mostly staying in place, but let's be honest, a lot of black men are moving, and it's because of the nonsense of the Democrat Party. They understand they're not going to get nothing from staying under mama. Mama ain't going to give you nothing. Democrat Party don't care about you. When it comes to you trying to be in your children's lives, that's one thing that if conservatives and Republicans got on the same page about, that you would forever win when it comes to black folks, because the black men have been torn away from their children. There needs to be a national campaign out there. And you speak about how evil the Democrats are and how they have created a program, a social program out there that have really expanded to everybody, that was meant to keep you away from your children. And we as the Republican Party want to ensure that you are in your children's lives. Republicans can win if they have the right messaging, if they care about social issues, right? Not the Johnny-come-latelys. You have to be able to care on it. Just like when folks are speaking about this, what was it, this student loan crisis.
Yes.
That's a social issue. Republicans right now, you're on the losing end. You know why you're on the losing end? Because you haven't been speaking about it.
That's right.
Yeah, you haven't been speaking about it. There's no legislation coming from the Republicans of how to solve it, because you need to solve it. You want generations of children, even your children, are being hampered by, no matter how you feel, right? I know the old Republican friend, well, I went to school and I took out a loan. I was responsible. I worked my feet and nubs, and guess what? I paid it off. And if you take out something, you better pay it off. I understand that logic. But we're past that now, right? The milk has spilled. Yeah, the milk is spilled and the government is still giving out loans to spill some more milk. And Republicans haven't said nothing about it. Right? Except for, hey, we're not going to do it. Well, guess what? The generation that is under you cares about it. And if you don't care about it enough to put out legislation to help curb the problem, these folks are going to take the lead on it. Do you understand? That's why conservatives need to care. Conservatives seem to only care when the issues are brought up. You're Johnny-come-lately. These issues are here for everybody to take part of, to take the lead on, right? Just like marijuana. It's going to be legalized across the border. Where were the conservatives on it? It could have been a good issue to get a hold on, right? You could have brought a lot of people over to your side, but what happened? Play games. So these certain things conservatives need to get a hold on. They need to start moving on. You have to care about the social issues because that's what folks care about. They don't care about a Republican saying, hey, we have to save money for the national debt while they're sending money to Pakistan for gender studies. Do you see how ridiculous you sound when you start going down that line? We need to get a hold of the social issues. Republicans need to start caring, even with immigration. There's nothing. That's why I said right now they're like the Johnny-come-latelys. You just come here to complain and whine. We need folks to start moving. Let's go ahead and move forward. Last but not least,
Hey,
Anthony
Jermaine.
Allen, I need to speak about Mr. Trump. Yeah, he is pissing off a lot of folks, and he's making me smile, let me tell you. We're going to speak about Trump. Trump says that America is a garbage dumpster for immigration. Let me tell you, he's absolutely correct. Let me go ahead and run it. When it come back, I want to speak about it. Here we go.
What happened to me was this issue of censorship and free speech. You've had a taste of this by being removed from Twitter, which was a great platform for you. You were very popular on it, and you were very entertaining on it, depending on your viewpoint. Yeah. I liked you on it. I miss you on it. It used to cheer up a boring day.
And Twitter is now boring.
Well, do you miss being on Twitter?
So I'm doing my own platform. I think it's going to be very big. I think it's going to be very successful. We'll see. But we need a voice. The good news is I have a voice because I do interviews with you and other people, some friends and some not friends of yourself. Mm-hmm. Some you know very well, right? And some you respect a lot and some you don't. Yeah. But I'm able to get my voice out. But Twitter, what they're doing is really horrible. Well,
there are two things they did, which I think are really contentious. One, they've continued to ban you from the platform, but they allow Vladimir Putin to have a Twitter account. Yeah. They allow the supreme leader of Iran to have a Twitter account. They allow a number of Taliban leaders to have a Twitter account. I don't see how they can square off allowing those people to have their platform, but not a former president of the United States.
Do you know why? Because they're sick. They're mentally ill. I really believe that. They're sick people. And our country is going to hell. Right now, our country is going to hell. We have an invasion at the southern border and beyond, but we have an invasion coming in. This is bigger than any army is coming in. And it's not 2 million people. I believe it's 10 or 12 million people a year. At the end of Biden's term, I think you'll have 30 to 40 to 50 million people will have come into our country. Many of these people are not people that would ever qualify for any country. Many are people released from prisons from other countries. You know, last week we had 129 countries represented. It's no longer Honduras and Guatemala and Mexico and, the area. They think like, oh, they're coming in from El Salvador. It's now, the whole world is being dumped into the United States. We're like a garbage dump. And this is allowed to go on. And the media doesn't want to talk about it. If you turn on to NBC fake news or CBS fake news, any of them, CNN, which is, totally fake, if you turn on to, they don't even talk about the border. They rarely talk about the border. Such an important thing, and they rarely talk. Our country is being invaded, and we do nothing about it. I believe, and we'll finish up with this, but I believe our country has never been at a lower point. We had the strongest border in the world. We had the strongest border we've ever had. And now we have the weakest border. We had the best economy, and now we have inflation that's destroying. Inflation, if you're like in real estate, like I am and was, if you're in real estate, inflation is a wonderful thing until everything explodes.
Here's the big...
There you go. So Anthony Allen, Trump is speaking the truth once more again. He's saying America is a dumpster ground when it comes down to immigration. You just can't make this stuff up. The Republicans, they talk a real nice game about it, but the legislation hasn't been really coming down the pipeline. They need to be every day talking about new legislation that the Democrats aren't trying to do to secure the border. There needs to be a campaign like this. People's lives are at risk. And let me tell you, our security right now is all screwed up. What do you think about this here, sir?
Yeah, you're exactly right. And I want to dovetail in what Joanne Yardley was saying about this deal here, because our borders, they're wide open, and people are seeing how they're putting the illegal aliens first, okay? Particularly black folk. They're saying, look, they're treating these illegal aliens better than citizens, better than they treat us. We've been in this country. We are citizens of this country, but look how they're treating us. And so that really does move people away from the Democrat Party when a lot of black people are beginning to see how they've been had, not only by the border issue, but also by the Ukrainian hoax, where they had a lot of black people were focused on Ukraine, and now they see how they're giving the Ukrainians billions and billions of dollars. But getting back to the main point, Trump is absolutely correct. The people allowing this to happen, Mayorkas, they are sick and they are mentally ill. You see, Trump, he doesn't pull any punches. So I always tell people, hey, let Trump be Trump. That's why we love him, because he does not pull punches. He drives everybody crazy. And do you know what? He does it by telling the truth. The truth is raw. And it comes out, and everybody knows this is exactly how he has to speak. That's Trump. If you look at the New York Harbor, the Statue of Liberty, there's a poem there that says, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Now, on the southern border, the cartels, the sex traffickers, the slavers, the drug addicts, they don't care about people at all. And they have a sign too, and that sign tells Americans to take garbage because they don't care about these people. And to the cartels, the people that they bring to the border, they're just garbage to the cartels. And the sign says, you take what we are calling garbage. So you can see that the statement that Trump made did not cause any controversy whatsoever, because everyone knows that it's true. And if someone were to go after Trump and say he called people garbage and he called people mentally ill, that would just further the issue to make it more clear. So the Democrats are not going after Trump anymore about the things that he says, because when they do that, it magnifies it. It makes it even more known to be true. So they are allowing Trump to be Trump once again. But this is an issue once again that people are going to have to realize. Trump is correct. He is right. about what he says.
Absolutely. He's absolutely correct. And that's one of the main reasons why they go after him and attack him in this manner. He's telling the truth. And sometimes the truth is not so pretty, you know?
Yeah.
And that's something that, you know, a lot of people need to get over. You know, the truth is what it is. And when you start dealing with life as what it is and not what you think, right, and not what you feel, you start having a better reality. You know, people need to get out of fantasy world, right? When you wake up, use your brain, right? Yeah, when you go to sleep, you can be in fantasy all you want. You know, some people wake up and they live inside their brain all day long, dreaming and being in fantasy. You can't be like that. I know it's hard, but you have to learn to deal with reality and deal with your first consciousness. You know, the first one is right in front of you, right? Yeah, you deal with how things are. Anthony Allen, buddy, pal, let me tell you something. It's been a very beautiful time with you tonight. That is the end of our show. I want to thank everybody and their mama's mama for coming on here and hanging out with us. I'll be on tomorrow, same time as usual, giving you guys a good word. Anthony Allen, buddy, any last words for our beautiful crowd here before we depart?
Yes, the crowd is just beautiful. Great comments in the comment section there. Thank you so much for the donation. Thank you, Mother Dixie. Thank you very, very much. Love you. And I do appreciate that donation. So we have got to stick together. Do not let the Democrats divide us on the border. Do not let them divide us on Ukraine. Do not let them divide us on color. You know, we have to stick together as one people. We are Americans. Americanism has nothing to do with skin color at all. That's a figment of the Democrats' imagination. A friend of mine sent me this meme, and it says that the racists are always concerned about color, but we are concerned about character. People that are not racist are not concerned about color. We are concerned about character. And that's the difference. Conservatives are concerned about character. The Democrats are always concerned about color. They are the racists because they have so much concern for color. So just stay together, people.
Absolutely. Stay together. I want to thank everybody for coming out here once more again, everybody who shared and everybody who donated. We really do love you. We really do appreciate you guys, all right? Absolutely. Anthony Allen, once more again, thank you for hanging out with us on this beautiful Sunday evening. Streamed a little bit later than usual, but you were a champ about it, so I really do want to thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys take care. Have a very, very good night, and we'll catch you here for another edition of Conservative Nation. Good night.